Johnny, today we're doing a show on the Native Americans. That's right, Johnny, yes. The Indians. Yes, the Indians. All right then, take it away. Well, Johnny, you see, there was this country. There was this country that was inhabited for thousands of years by a loose society of native peoples. Right, yes. And they didn't really own the country. And they roamed around this country for years, eons. But there was a people across the sea, right, and didn't accept that the Indians, the Native Americans, actually owned that country. But Johnny, there was, yeah, they didn't own the country. They're just bloody Indians. They don't own it. So eventually, the people who lived in this land, who had no formal bloody ownership of it, so these people from across the sea said, we're going to send people over there, and we need more farmland. There were thousands of bloody Indians there, and we need more room for our families and society. So they went over there, Johnny, slowly at first.
Llano, a Spanish conquistador, established the first European settlement in the modern-day United States.
So eventually, the people who lived in this land, who had no formal bloody ownership of it, they were...
Cartier sailed for the third time to North America, hoping to establish a permanent settlement along the St. Lawrence River. The Iroquoians already lived there, though, and weren't too happy with Cartier because he, I don't know, kidnapped some of them and forced them back to France a few years prior?
But unfortunately, that wasn't the bloody plan. Johnny, what happened when the Indians found out that the people from overseas were coming in and were just moving in and taking their land without asking? And of course, the native people who really didn't own that particular land they were on, and they started to get a bit grumpy, and they started pushing back. Yeah, fighting.
American Indian tribes grew agitated as colonial settlements expanded. Various tribes, such as the Powhatan tribe, tried to drive the colonists out of Virginia. When it became clear they would not be able to defeat the colonists, many of the American Indians fled the region.
It's not as I imagined it would be, thinking of it in Boston.
Frontier is the only land available to people. Out here they're beholden to none.
No one was there. But Johnny, this is sounding like what's going on over what's happening in the Middle East now.
Across the uncharted rugged West, bringing new people to a new country.
As a new land was being carved out of an untamed frontier.
Oh, Jesus. That's right, Johnny, yes. Well, the people from across the sea, they didn't really like that. They said, fuck that. We've got every right to be here. We got more right than you because you don't really own this country. And we decided our way around the other side of the world that we're going to start living here. Of course, the native peoples of this land who didn't really own it, they got more and more shitty, and the fighting got more and more intense as the people from across the sea started spreading out and taking more and more land from the people who didn't really own the country. Yeah, taking more land, right? Well, there were fights and everything, Johnny. Sometimes an Indian raiding party would go to some fucking outflung bloody fort or bloody homestead or whatever, and they'd kill the people who were living there, massacre them. Yeah, they'd scalp them and do all sorts of stuff. Then what happened? Well, the people from across the sea, their government said, fuck that. These people are heathens, animals. They're bloody terrorists. We're going to crush them. We're going to crush them and we'll wipe them off the face of the bloody earth. And that's basically what happened.
Well, thank you, Johnny. That's clarified things now.
Of course, Johnny, there are a couple of big wins for these people who really didn't own their own country. Yeah, they kicked bloody Colonel Custer's ass. They kicked his ass. But that just brought more wrath from the people who crossed the sea. Like what? Who had decided to own this bloody country? They said, right, that's it. We're going to push these bloody people, the people who used to live here, who really didn't own it, we're going to push them into little sections of the country and we'll push them closer and closer together. We'll send them where they don't even want to live. So eventually the people who lived in this land, who had no formal bloody ownership of it, they were pushed into little sections of this land and forced to live in reservations. And of course, Johnny, there'll be people out there who will say, that's a load of shit, Johnny. But Johnny, this is sounding like that's got nothing to do with what's going on over there at the moment. It's a totally different story. They're bloody animals. But in actual fact, Johnny, it's almost the same bloody story.